Good morning, class. My name is Corey Thomas, and today I'm going to be doing my persuasive speech. My persuasive speech, I'm going to be doing it on making the switch, and you're asking yourself, um, well, Corey, what's the switch? The switch that I'm talking about is it's time. It's time to switch to, okay, spacebar is not going to work. It's time to make the switch over to electric cars. So, um, we've been using gasoline and diesel for who knows how long. It is creating a large problem in America with pollution and hurting the environment. So I think it's just time we switch over. Just hear me out for this one. So before I get into um, all the environmental stuff and problems that we have with using gasoline, I wanted to talk about the invention of the first automobile and the invention of using gasoline versus diesel, that sort of thing. So here on your right, you see the what is called the Model T, and it was made by Ford, the company that makes all the trucks. Ford. It was their first ever automobile ever taken off the line. It was invented in 1885, and completely flipped America upside down. It was a huge milestone, obviously, because before in 1884, people were riding on horseback. Or they were in horse-drawn carriages, stuff like that, to get around, just to go to Stater Brothers and get like a milk and eggs. It was quite a bit more of a process than to just grab your keys and go. Um, but here, not a very powerful engine. Obviously, this being the first one, it was a four-cylinder gasoline engine. Basically, the same thing we use in like Honda Civics and Nissan Altimas today. Four-cylinder gasoline engine. The gasoline's probably definitely a little different. In like purity and such like that. But from what you're seeing here in 1885 is basically the same thing that we have in 2020 coming off the factories today. So here, I'm going to be talking about diesel engines. You guys know when you go to a gas station, you put in 87 for your car, but then like trucks, they pull up and they get the green handled gas pump, and they put in diesel. So the first diesel engine was invented in 1893 by Rudolph Dees. He was looking for something with more power, more torque, something that could be ran at higher heats, um, more push, more pull, um, and that can move more weight, basically. So he was out to invent a new high thermal efficient engine, and he needed an alternative fuel source, which was basically gasoline. If he used gasoline to power this engine that he was inventing, he would be using so much gasoline, like probably like four times the amount of gasoline to get the thing to run and to function. But you'd just be burning through gasoline. It wouldn't be effective or efficient at all. And yeah, so he needed to come up with a different type of gasoline, which was diesel, that combusts differently and creates more power and torque for what he was using it for. I believe he was using it for what we see here is like one of the first diesel trains. But as we know today, with our like Ford Ram and Chevy trucks, those are all diesel engines, and then semi trucks and cargo trucks, all like that, are all going to be diesel as well. So, um, does anyone remember when we were kids? We would always talk about, well, when in like 20 years or in the future, I believe we're gonna have flying cars, or cars are gonna be powered by magnets, or oh, we're gonna be able to just put water in our gas tank and we'll be fine. I think it's about time we get to some point of that. I mean, 1855 or 1885, sorry, was the last time like we invented the car, and then that was kind of it. We were just like, all right, throw some AC in there, throw some leather seats in there, and that's like all the upgrades we've done until 2020 on these gasoline powered cars. And that's just it seems just outdated. It seems ineffective at this point. Not that there's really anything wrong with how they function. It's more on the effect they have on the environment that urges me to want to switch over to electric. So here, I have a picture of a standard diesel truck. I mean, not standard, but we're all kind of used to seeing this. These big exhaust pipes here on the back that just spit out smog um, and are going to be a big problem for our atmosphere. All this smog and stuff gets stuck in the atmosphere above, and there's really nothing like we do about it. It kind of just like stays up there, and then it's just going to keep building. And since 85, when this started, we haven't done anything about it. It just keeps building up there. And we have to keep mining for this gasoline to keep powering the cars. It's just a big kind of ordeal to be. It's a big demand for gasoline, I guess I'm saying. And I want to persuade you to take away the demand for gasoline and let's plug in electric, no pun intended, let's plug in electric cars to the solution. So here on your right is another electric car, and it's time to make the switch over. So if we're making the switch to electric, we're going to be putting our environment first. Um, it's going to take the demand of gasoline down quite a bit. So of course, we can't get rid of. I'm not saying we should get rid of gasoline entirely. We still need it for like generators and such. It's gonna rain. We need power. Power is essential to humans. But I would like to switch automotive to electric. If we get rid of the demand for gasoline, we're not going to be drilling and mining for gasoline as much. We're not going to be stuffing up the atmosphere as much. We're not going to be we're not going to have these huge factories having to build these cars and all their specific parts that make an engine work. When we switch to a electric car, we're still going to have the factories and the mining to make the batteries and such, but it's going to be on a much smaller scale, in the way that we're not going to have to be dealing with hazardous material like gasoline and diesel and such. And that is my speech and why I believe we should switch over to electric cars. Thank you so much for watching.